Well, LAFC were able to escape Austin FC in the first game of the best of three matchup. They got game one at home at BMO Stadium. And even though they got this win, it was a pretty ugly game. And there's a lot of concerns I have about this team going forward. And, I question Dolo's management and some of the decisions he made going into this game, especially the starting 11. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But like I said, LAFC wins 2-1 over Austin FC game one. If they win their next match, which is November the 2nd, they will advance to the next round or the quarterfinals of the East or the Western Conference playoffs. And they will take on the winner of FC Dallas and the Vancouver Whitecaps. But let's talk about this match right now. The first half, LAFC looked very, very shaky, nervous, unsure of themselves. They were not playing the LAFC we're accustomed to seeing in the Son Heung-min era with Denis Bouanga. We had seen this dynamic duo up top that was scoring goals in droves. They scored 15 goals in a 4-game stretch at one point. And we just haven't seen that in a while. And when I saw the starting 11 and I saw that Moran, depends on how you pronounce it, but Moran wasn't starting. That was a red flag for me for LAFC and Dolo. He's running out the same starting 11, playing Tillman. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 12,000 subscribers by MLS Cup Final Day, which is less than 2 months away. A lot of exciting playoff games ahead of us, and we have real momentum, so I think we could hit that goal. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Now, back to the video. Schwanier and Delgado in the midfield, and there's absolutely zero creativity with this midfield, and it just absolutely kills the attack. There's just nothing in the final third with these guys in the midfield. That was a red flag. Smoliakov not starting, and they had Hollingshead starting. Little concerning as well, because it feels like he's running out the weaker starting 11 compared to what he was, the starting 11 that was doing very, very well when they were scoring all these goals. Either way, so they get in the 20th minute, Hollingshead debatably was offside, but he scored a goal. It was it's technically an own goal by Austin FC, but he scored. He did what he had to do, and at that point, I was like, okay, they found the back of the net. Austin FC didn't have a single shot in the first half. LAFC will probably be fine, right? They'll probably be fine. But in the first half, they just continued to look bad. They looked really, really bad. And you know who I think looked really bad in the first half? I got to pin some blame on a guy who always disappears in big games, a guy who never shows up for his team when they need him most, Denis Bouanga. I mean, there was a chance that Denis Bouanga had. Son Heung-min put it right on a platter for him. Like literally any guy who was competent would have scored this goal for LAFC, and he got it deflected. I mean, it was good defending, but my God, he should have scored that goal. I mean, it was a perfect setup by Son Heung-min. Denis Bouanga was a no-show in the first half. Made bad decisions, turned the ball over, bad passes, wrong runs, getting cooked in the pocket of Austin FC. I just think he was very, very poor in the first half. First half ends, I think to myself, okay, if LAFC can make some adjustments, make some substitutions, if Steve Cherundolo, who I think is one of the worst managers in MLS, and hopefully you guys agree with that too after what you saw tonight, when he didn't make any substitutions, Morin, he didn't bring in Smoliakov, he didn't bring Ordaz, anybody in the beginning of the second half, I thought, okay, they're making a glaring error here by not making any substitutions because the team was very, very flat in the first half. So I thought, okay, if that's the case, Austin FC could tie this, go to penalties, or they could end up, LAFC could win 2-1, but it's going to make it interesting. Well, Austin FC on the corner scored in the 63rd minute to tie this 1-1. At that point, I thought, okay, Austin FC looked like the better team in the first half, even though they didn't have any shots. They just looked like they were playing more competent ball. Like they weren't making a lot of errors. They just couldn't do anything in the final third, but they didn't look bad. They were holding their own. If they can get any chance in the final third and get some shots, anything can happen. That's what I was thinking. Anything can happen. And that's what happened. It was a deflection, rebound. Gallagher scores in the 63rd minute. We got a tied ball game, right? Then I started to think, okay, maybe Steve will start to make some substitutions, and maybe we'll see something happen in the second half to kind of get a little bit of more life into this team. No substitutions. No substitutions after that goal. And the first substitution he made was in the 74th minute. He brought out Schwanier for Nathan or Das. Very questionable substitution, in my opinion. Didn't understand that at the time of the substitution. Okay. They bring him in on the 74th minute. And Denis Bouanga had this opportunity in the 78th minute. He shot the ball. I want to say it did deflect off a defender. Either way, it was going in, and Ordaz tapped it in. But I think that goal could have been offside. I mean, it was very close. And even Ordaz thought he was offside because when he tapped it in, he's like, oh my God, why did I touch that? I should have let it go in. Denny would have scored. I should have never touched that. So even he thought it was offside. So 2 goals tonight by LAFC were controversial, possible offside goals. And I just come away thinking, that any team that LAFC would play that would be competent in the final third, any attackers that could do anything or create chances or finish chances, whatever the case may be, would have beaten this team pretty bad. And another thing, too, about this midfield that I want to talk about, because the attack, like I said, we're used to this LAFC, a team being lethal in the final third. When Son Heung-min has to go from striker all the way back past the midfield line to get the ball, to move it forward to start the attack, is a bad sign. That he has to go that deep, and he has to do that as the striker because nobody in this midfield can do anything. Also, Tillman was terrible too. Got to throw that out there too. He should not be starting, but maybe we'll talk about him in a little bit. But I just wanted to point that out. Son had to go all the way back past the midfield line to get the ball, to bring it forward, to try to create something in the attack, which is bad. And that's why Morin should have started, because that's what they signed him for, to be that X factor, that guy that could really get the attack started in the final third. But for some reason, he's not getting any playing time. So the biggest concern too is like LAFC, this strong attacking team, just has been rudderless lately. And it's not Sonny's fault. It's not. It's the people around him. It's Denis Bouanga who's missing these chances. It's Tillman who can't set anything up. It's Delgado who just really is useless in the final third. All these guys just don't. Even Palencia hasn't been that good lately. He doesn't have the team around him to do anything. You take him off this team is horrible. This is not a good team. I honestly believe that. You take him off this team's not good. And I truly believe that. So it just makes me think that if they play like this against another team, they're going to be in trouble. They're going to have issues when they play better teams than Austin, because Austin FC, don't get it twisted. They do not have a good attack because their starting striker hurt his knee earlier in the season. He's out. Uzuni was terrible for Austin FC tonight. Absolutely terrible. So I just think that he saw a lot of deficiencies at LAFC, and they got to win next game too at Austin to sweep them and advance the next round. They got to win one more game of a possible 3. They got to win 2 of 3 matches. So if they win the next one, they advance. If they lose, then they have to play a third game to see who makes it to the to the quarterfinals of the Eastern Conference. But I just saw a lot of issues tonight, guys. I saw a lot of issues with this team. I'm telling you, like 2 goals that are controversial, 2 own goals. Or not own goals, but 2 possible offside goals, I should say. 2 possible offside goals. No decisive, in-play goal that you just like, yeah, that was a good run of attack. Like, that was great. That was a great setup. It's beautiful. Didn't see that tonight. And even the defense looked shaky. The defense looked really bad. Tafari, on the goal he gave up, he had the ball down. I have no idea what he was thinking on that goal that they gave up. He had the ball down and gave them an opportunity to get the rebound and score that goal. I thought the defense looked really shaky. The back 5 did for the first time in a while. So I just think this team's got a lot of issues, and they're having to turn around and play Austin again November 2nd. Like, they got to play in like 3 days, 4 days. They got to play again. So it's a quick turnaround. And I want to say this too. Another issue with Dolo is he subbed out Sony in the 91st minute. Okay. What would have happened if Austin FC had pulled one back, tied this game 2-2, and it went to penalties, and your best player is on the bench? What would have happened? I have no idea why he didn't let him play the remaining 3 to 4 minutes of this match, because this could have very easily went to penalties, because there is no extra time in the playoffs if it's tied at regulation. It goes straight to penalties for this best of 3 series. So if that had happened and your best player's on the bench, you're screwed. You're in trouble. So I don't really know what he was thinking. I have no idea what he was thinking in that situation to take him off the pitch. He was the one and only bright spot, I think, tonight in tonight's match. I think, that's been a common theme for him this season, right? I mean, he has been the one consistency in this team, but that could have been catastrophic if they'd taken him out and it went to penalties. That could have been really, really bad and indefensible. It still is indefensible by Steve Cherundolo. So, if you're an LAFC fan, if you're a new LAFC fan, there's a lot of room for concern about this match. I think that they escaped this game. They didn't win it decisively. They didn't dominate. This was a very, very lackluster match by LAFC. I want to know what you guys think. Are you worried? I mean, they got to play Austin FC possibly 2 more times. Do you think that they could lose this series? Are you worried about the games going forward based on the way they played recently? I want to know what you guys think. Also, let me know if you approve of Dolo's performance tonight as a coach. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell notification so you don't miss any of my other MLS playoff coverage and new videos. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. And until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon.